Oh, get my old ass in this chair. Feels like it anyway. All right, you ready to roll? Boom, let's go. Freaking slow starter like in tennis. Gotta get going. Motivation. Let's go. All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Wednesday, January the 22nd, 2020. And we are here to just break down day 3 action.
Yeah.
All right. ¿Qué pasó?
Well, there were some big shockers, right? Not really.
I wouldn't say shockers.
Not really, because if you know about tennis and you use your common sense, you wouldn't pick certain players.
I have a feeling I know what she's alluding to, but we'll wait
Except
on that.
One I was shocked at. One.
Yeah, I had a rough day yesterday throughout the Sabalenka Suarez-Navarro match. But we will get into that. Real quickly, I want to start today's show with a positive. Maybe I think it might be a positive for you that Sabalenka got beaten by a very solid Suarez-Navarro.
I just proved my point, though. Again and again.
All right, I'm going to start today's show with a viewer comment.
Okay.
And the viewer comment, actually there's 2 of them. And then I want to break down each one of Part A and Part B because I thought they were so simple yet so true. And if you think about them, they're actually quite deep. So both of these comments come from Alina Weidegren. So the first one, and again, just common conversation, but we talk about these type of things a lot. And sometimes someone writes something, and I don't even think they realize how good of a kind of a comment it is in a non-suggestive or kind of non-opinionated way. Anyway, so let me explain. Here we go. So the first comment is this, quote, from Lena Weidgren. When did all that noise start and being accepted? Earlier, some players was loud, but nowadays, almost everybody is annoying.
They're all annoying.
Part 1, okay. Part 2, and this was classic for me. I needed it. My day, again, since I blew out my knee, ruptured my patellar tendon, broke my wrist. Anyway, sometimes my mornings are kind of like, geez, here we go. I got to get my leg warmed up to get out of bed, right? So I read this one, and this one, I was like, let's go. I was like, come on. Let's get down. And that was this, Part B. How many assholes does Fognini have, do you think? He is very good looking, but that doesn't matter. So, how many assholes does Fognini have, do you think? He is very good looking, but that doesn't matter. All right, so the part A, let's break down the noise. It is almost unbearable these days to watch, especially women's tennis.
Yeah.
I love to watch it. I don't mean I'm not gonna watch it. I watch it equally as much as the men's, but I have to turn the volume down.
It's tough. I thought Azarenka, which was one of the first that grunted was Monica Seles back in the day.
She was rough.
But Azarenka beat her. Azarenka was worse, and then you had Sharapova, and then Azarenka. But Serena and Coco Guaff. No, not Coco Guaff with her grunts. With the, come on! But Serena with the grunts, she beats everybody.
I think there's a difference between the grunt and the excessive come on.
You're right.
The grunt is mid-shot.
Oh, Sabalenka's horrible.
Look, the list, there used to be, she said it perfectly, Lena said it perfectly, there used to be a few. You had Schiavone, you can't forget the maestro shrieking herself.
Schiavone was bad.
She was a shrieking champion.
Here, I'm going to go down this road, right? Risk.
Screecher.
Sakari.
Well.
Kvitova.
Okay, Screecher. Well.
Yes.
Not terrible.
Serena.
Very loud, excessive come on her. So look, because we're going to talk about these matches and the screeching within. But Lena's right here. It used to be we would just laugh at 1 or 2 players when they would play, but now it's everything.
I can't stand it too when strangers go by us and we're teaching, right? And they automatically go, oh,
yeah. We have a street that goes by the courts that we teach on, and so cars pass it a lot. And they'll just, hang out the window, strangers, whatever, and they're just like, come on, and just laughing about it. So, it's really kind of a stinky type thing, but she's right. Everyone seems to do it. And I guess insofar as the grunting wasn't enough or excessive screeching, then after you get a whole chain link effect or domino effect after every shot. Let's look at Serena last night. Running to hit the ball, hitting the ball, after the point, come on! So you don't get just the grunt mid-shot anymore. Sometimes you get the pre-grunt footstep screech, and then you get the shot grunt or squeal, and then you get the after-shot excessive come on, which sometimes turns into a downright horrific scream if you look at Serena. So Serena last night, she would be running, she's like demolishing Zidansek, by the way.
Should have demolished.
Like, was just
why are you even grunting?
Just owning the girl. By the way, interesting fact about Zidansek, and I learned this today, and I'm a big snowboarder, well, at least in my youth. But Zidansek, Tamara Zidansek, she's from Slovenia. She was a multiple-time snowboarding champion and won championships in snowboarding prior to playing tennis. So let's get down. She's still young. I like the girl. She did get handled by Serena and should have. But let me give you an example point. Let's say Serena's up 6-3. Maybe it was a little close in the second set. Serena would get a short ball. She'd run after it. Here she hits it. Yeah! She would have an easy pass for the winning point.
Oh, you're not even doing it right.
Can you do it?
She's like, come on! I'm like, shut up. I'd want to punch you in the face if you did that to me. I'd hit you with the ball.
I mean, relentless. And not just after one group.
I was getting so angry watching that match. I was like, is she really doing this to this poor girl that has no weapons to beat you? Like, please. And then her camp. I felt like I don't even want to say it.
Now, look.
It was just horrible. Horrible to watch.
All of our 5 kids, including our 4-year-old, were like, oh my gosh, because it was a barrage. It was every single point. And it was quite odd just for me. The second part of her comment, and by the way, have you ever been on like a boat all day long, and then you get off of the boat and you take a shower and you still feel like you're rocking?
Yeah.
You got to hold your balance in the shower.
I can't do boats.
I heard so much screaming last night in the Serena match on one side of the court that my ears are still pounding. And it's been like 9 hours since the match. I should sue for violation of my ear space. Gosh. Second part of her question is, how many assholes does Fognini have, do you think? He's very good looking, but that doesn't matter. First of all, I rebut the good looking thing because he's developed a pot belly and he walks so silky, smoothly, slow and makes him look like a twerp.
He's okay looking, but his attitude makes him not. It doesn't even make him attractive at all.
Yeah,
you see past that. It's just his attitude is so bad that you don't even look at that.
It's like you're like in high school or something or college. You like date like a super hot girl, but she's a super mean. She's like a succubus from a different level and dimension. But you just deal with it because she's so hot. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean,
it just makes you look past that. It's
yeah, you can't because of the attitude. Therefore, Fognini is not hot.
He's not. No.
And look, I'll tell you if a dude's handsome.
He's okay. I don't think he's not my type of guy, but he's okay.
All right. Anyway, maybe Dimitrov's good looks can carry him to a different chapter in his life, but Tommy Paul was no joke, and we'll get into that. All right, moving forward.
By the way, Chris, I know you're not going to see this video. I got your sweater, and I'm going to put it back in your closet like I never wore it.
That's a shout out to our 15-year-old son. That is a perfectionist to the T. He's a good tennis player too.
He doesn't like anybody wearing
But if you touch his cup or his plate or his sweater or jacket,
it's new. I got to wear it first.
It doesn't. He won't actually ever touch it again.
But he'll never find out I had it on.
But that's all right. Tommy, bro.
Unless he watches
sneak attack. All right. Real quickly, let's bring up the Sabalenka.
Carlos Suarez-Navarro match.
Suarez-Navarro, same name as this one, except Suarez-Navarro has a one-hander and you have a two.
The worst grunt ever. Every shot she hit, including a drop shot that I watched, was a grunt.
A grunting drop shot.
A grunting drop shot.
That takes skill.
Never seen that. And she gave it away.
I have seen it.
She gave it away because the grunt was so loud as she tried, she didn't disguise her drop shot that Carlos Suarez-Navarro saw it and put it away.
I have seen the dropper grunt. I have seen it.
Didn't they go to 3 sets?
No, she beat her in straight.
2 straight sets.
I think it was like 7-6, 7-6, I think.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. She got hammered. Look, I watched this one. I was shedding tears because I picked her to win the entire tournament, which, Look, I only
The
do
whole
it.
time he was like, "Oh, my baby. Oh, she's so hot." And we were just laughing. Everybody was like, "What are you even talking
I
about?"
only do it because she is one of the most intense girls, I think, on the tour. Unfortunately, she has zero variety. I will make myself a promise, though. I will never pick her on my fantasy team again, and I don't think that she will ever even come close to winning a major unless she can add some type of variety to her game, because she's just one gear and that's it. If the gear breaks down, she just keeps grinding that gear.
She has no footwork whatsoever. Anytime she tried to hit a winner, and by the way, Carlos Suarez didn't have to do much, but just guide the ball back and let Sabalenka beat herself, and she'd hit it right back to her feet. Sabalenka had no footwork. Her feet were flat. She doesn't know how to move. Like Wozniacki, if you watch her steps, you can hear it on the TV. Sabalenka is more like doom, 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 doom.
She's flat.
Doom, doom. It's horrible. There is no footwork. How she got this far in tennis makes me question, why didn't I get that far?
Well, sometimes...
Maybe because I'm 5'5".
No, sometimes in life it's about who you know. And breaks.
I've seen much more talented players than her.
Yeah,
Big time.
I mean, I think there's probably thousands of people. I'm not going to say tens of thousands, but I would assume there's thousands of people, and any tennis hub area, at least where there's courts, that you could gander up 1,000 people that woulda, coulda, shoulda if they only would have had the opportunity to go to college or to meet someone that gave them some incentives at specific academies. It does take. Sometimes a stroke of good luck.
It does take, but we watched her yesterday hit, and she kept hitting harder, and then harder, and then harder till the ball went out. It's like, hello, if you hit hard, eventually if you keep hitting, it's like a rubber band. If you keep pulling it and pulling it and pulling it and pulling it, let go, it's going to just, shoot really far. And the same thing with a tennis racket and a ball. You got to know how to use different spins, different shots, different pace. You just don't keep hitting the ball hard like Yastremska did. Eventually you miss.
Yes, there's nothing to rebut that comment. That's exactly right. She has no variety, and for a long time, Carla, a year and a half we've been doing the show, we've talked about Sabalenka, and you've always said she had no variety. My thought process was that she would find, as I like to say, another tool to add to her toolbox that she takes on the tennis court with her. She just has a screwdriver, and she continues to try to build a treehouse with just the screwdriver. The metaphor is the treehouse being the tennis match. I thought by now that she would have some way of staying patient, or at least finding a way to fluctuate patience with intensity, and kind of find an even Steven route. She's already 11 in the world. I figured she would find that little bit of patience, and that would put her across the top. It just hasn't. Is there a coaching issue? I think the Tursunov guy.
Get rid of him.
I don't know what that's doing for her moving forward. No disrespect to him. It's always been a frictiony looking relationship. No problem. I don't know either. It's just what they pitch out when they show each other together and what they do on social media platforms. They pitched out just an odd deal. So I think it's best to move part ways. She just lost her father. Great time to try to fight for that.
She needs to find someone that
can bring
that can help her learn how to read the court, to help her think ahead. You just don't hit the shot at the moment. You have to be thinking. If you look at players like Osaka, even Serena, you look at them, Andreescu, Barty, they are thinking ahead. You can see it, that their mind is working. They hit one shot, and you could already see them preparing themselves for that next shot. Sabalenka has none of that.
I think one of the maestros of the game on the women's side, Wozniacki.
Too bad she didn't have the power. Well, she would have had more pop to her shot.
When you watch whether it's young Wozniacki, current Wozniacki, and Wozniacki as she still plays, as she progresses through the next chapter of her life, if you watch her eyes when she serves, and you can watch it 15 years ago or you can watch it today, from the time that she starts her coming down, the ball toss is going up. If you freeze frame and go in slow motion and look at her eyes, not only can you tell her eyes are on that ball, but you can also tell her eyes are in deep thought. Mm-hmm. You can see it. So she's like, she's going, she has her motion, she knows like the back of her hand. It's fluid, she gets there, and you can tell if you look at the eyes that she has much more on her mind than just impacting that ball. Very Federer-esque is Wozniacki on the court. She was, however, in the Wozniacki match, Wozniacki was throwing just junk at Yastremska.
And that's what you got to do.
Junk. You're just throwing junk at her.
I think that's what Suarez did too. When I looked at Suarez's one-handed backhand, it's not a powerful one-handed backhand at all.
No,
she really doesn't go through the ball. She kind of
she
pops it up. It's floating.
And she hits it, and Suarez hits a very neutral ball.
Yeah, it's very no pace, and Sabalenka did not know what to do with that. It was like almost sitting there for her. If she had a player like Osaka would already be moving in, stepping into the ball, and putting it away.
You answered your own question a little while ago. You said it, and you said it 100% correctly. Sabalenka doesn't have much footwork. She's very flat-footed. A lot of half volleys she'll catch off the feet at the baseline, which is quite odd because generally you're knowing the ball's coming to you deep, and you split, you move, you step. Sabalenka tends to dwell in one spot too long, and she injures it. So in other words, Carla, if you're playing me and you're hitting deep balls at my feet at the baseline, you're hitting with great depth. Instead of me backing up and hitting the ball, she kind of just stands there and tries to pick a half volley up off her feet.
She doesn't have any footwork. She's trying to do what my 10-year-old does that does not understand the court yet. That you need to back up, move forward, anticipate the ball.
So I'm assuming that Suarez-Navarro's strategy was go deep neutral, especially on the backhand side, and put the ball into Sabalenka's body. If she's lacking footwork, that makes her have to choose and step in and around what she wants to do. And have to step in and around and hit balls from the center of the court, which when Sabalenka hits from the center of the court, she generally sprays balls about 2 feet long and wide at the same time, especially when going cross-court. Mm-hmm. She does that inside-out cross-court, stepping around the backhand from the other side of the court, and usually takes the longest part of the court to execute her power. Right. But when you put her in the center of the court or push her down the line, she sprays balls all over the place like non-guided missiles, like Hussein Scuds or something. Just all over the place. So anyway, she has to have variety, and I don't think she's going to attain that.
Not with the coach that she has now, and not if she tries to. She has to change the game. That's a fact.
Just because we touched on it real quickly on the Wozniacki-Yastremska match. A lot of us had Yastremska on our fantasy team.
She should have won that match.
She should have won the match.
Had her twice.
However, up big in the first set, up in the second set, Wozniacki just stayed cool, stayed calm, stayed collected. And lost. I'm going to say that Wozniacki is the consummate jump thrower, like Redzwanska, like what Chris Evert during her time.
She does it better, though.
She is a great jump baller, and she is the consummate jump baller, and I mean that in a respectful way.
She needs to write a book, 101, on how to play smart tennis or how to throw junk, push the ball. Great pusher. I used to lose, I told him when we were watching the match.
She's very humble.
I used to lose to a lot of pushers like her, and my dad would teach me how to play against them. And I wish I could have told Yastremska what to do, but Yastremska was just hitting the ball, and especially to her forehand side, which is a mistake, big time. But we watched Wozniacki outsmart Yastremska at 5. It became what, 6-5. Yastremska serving. She had like 5 match points, 6 match points.
She had
six match points. But Yastremska, before she served at 5-6, called out the trainer.
Which was subpar.
Which we know. We all know. I looked it up, and she's done this with a lot of people. So this is a strategy that she uses.
The medical timeout.
Wozniacki even said in her interview after the match that she knew it was a fake injury, and she already knew it in her head that Yastremska was going to call out the medical timeout. She was prepared for it. It's cheating, but you can do it, right? I mean, it didn't help her. Yeah, but here's my thoughts on the medical timeout. This is a two-way street here.
This is not just tennis. This is football. This is anywhere where a player can go down and people will come out and therefore stop the clock. It's not just tennis. So first and foremost, let's not isolate tennis here. It
was 5-4 or 5-6. She called out the.
Either way, it was 5-4 in the second. She called a medical
for a hip abductor, right?
Anyway, we all know the story. So the medical timeout dilemma is this: it's a rule. That if you get hurt, you can call a timeout medically, and it'll stop the clock. Therefore, the strategy is it will freeze your opponent's momentum if they're on a hot streak. It can, though, work against you, and I'll explain why. Mm-hmm. If you yourself sit down for a little while and someone starts massaging you and wrapping up your leg, you will, there's nothing you can do, you're a biological entity, you will yourself cool down as well. Your thought process will change as well. If you are a consummate pro like Wozniacki, you're not going to let this rattle you. After all, you've won this tournament before, been number 1 in the world. Oh my goodness, need I go on? So it was just a stupid move, in my opinion, by Yastremska here. If they were deep in the third set,
they played some amazing points. Yastremska ran
crazy. It was an incredible match, but here's the thing I don't like about it. I don't like the karma side of it. Karma side, because the poor trainer's got to come out, may not want to be in the spotlight. Now you put them on national television, sit there and rap, and now the camera's on their rapping job and their hands, and how good. I mean, some people just don't like to be in the limelight. It's their job. I get that. But when it's fake and you put this person out here, what if a bird pooped on their head while they were strapping the person up and they were always on Instagram?
I don't think that they care. They're getting paid.
I'm just saying. I'm being stupid there. I'm being facetious. But don't make some poor soul come out and wrap up your leg when it's not true. You're making someone else work. You're doing a shiesty strategy. It just makes you look like a schmuck.
It does make her look like a schmuck. I think she will be a champion, though.
She will be.
She's got the tools.
Yeah,
she just has to be a bit more patient and learn that her opponents have certain weakness. And the looping shot, she would still wait for it instead of trying to slice or do something different with it. She just didn't do enough with it.
To do that makes you look like a schmuck. She will be a champion. She's the most promising young player outside of Barty, obviously, in Osaka. And
I was like, wow. She was side to side running.
She's really good.
Now, if Wozniacki had like I said, the firepower, she would have put a lot of those balls away, but she couldn't. But she will face her BFF, Serena Williams.
Is there some scripting to this one?
Serena will kill her. That we know. She'll make it tight. She'll make it tight, maybe. But hey, what better way for her to go out than be by your best friend,
Yeah,
Serena.
And then they get to go out and dance together after that to celebrate.
By the way, Justin, did you see Serena's interview after the match when she won?
I did. Real quick before let me finish the Wozniacki. I have two things on it. Mm-hmm. You said one thing, took the words right out of my mouth. We did not discuss what we put down. I wrote here that Wozniacki can still get the intended path open to hit the ball through on the tennis court. I would see her line her points up. She would have Yastremska over here.
But she can't.
And here comes the open court. Now she's got the open shot. And all she needs to do is drive that ball through that intended path at an angle margin where she can give up a little integrity or a little space, but she wouldn't hit it with enough integrity to put the ball through the path before Yastremska could get there. So she's lacking a little bit of firepower.
She always has.
But I know she's always been a very defensive junk baller. We've talked about this forever. Mm-hmm. But she would be able to finish a point at times. She was lucky to win the match. Yastremska had an off day. I got a little frazzled, a little tight in the moment. But good for Wozniacki. Serena will win. But the ability for Wozniacki to outthink people is uncanny.
Yeah, very smart.
All right. You had something.
Yeah, well, as we talked about before, Serena wins the match. As expected, in 2 sets, Jim Courier came out there, asked her again the same stupid question. How does it feel to be a mother?
Oh man, we hear.
So I'm gonna ask Justin. Justin, how does it feel to be a father of 5, a husband, to be injured, and run small businesses? How does it feel?
Well, geez, where do I begin with this? It's something that maybe not many people deal with, and that's fatherhood or being a mother. It's a rare thing these days. I know I might be the only person on the planet that has a child, but it feels good to come out here. It feels good to come out here and to answer these questions for the past 2 years about my new feelings as being a father. So yeah, I mean, we're doing pretty good, and I'm still trying to play with my kids as much as possible and still be a father. And by the way, we don't make really anything else. So, but we're still really trying hard to be a father, and it's really good. All right. Anyway, thank you. You're welcome. Anyway, neither here nor there. It's not that we're not knocking on. It's not Serena here. It's the media. They keep driving this.
Shut up.
Just the media.
There's so many moms and dads out there. I feel so blessed.
Jeez.
I feel so blessed. I can play with my little daughter. Okay, that's great. I'm glad you're a mom. That's wonderful. I think that's wonderful that you're on the tour. Wonderful. Why you guys ask her that question? Go ask Azarenka the same question.
Yeah, go ask a lot of these girls on tour that have got children. I mean, why did you? I mean, you just got to hone in on. It's so tough to be. I mean, come on. I mean, billionaire husbands there with 5 babysitters. I mean, come on. Let's chill on the mother thing, because I know some mothers that grind it deep with not hardly a pot to piss in and are soldiers.
It's just a dumb question. They should tell her, well, you got this next match, blah, blah, blah. Great to see your family here or something. But it's the same question all the time. Maybe they don't have anything to ask.
Maybe something like, hey, Serena, great win. When are we going to see your daughter out here playing? Is she training yet?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Hey, Serena, when does she start school? Hopefully she'll be on her kindergarten tennis team. LOL.
That's a better question.
I mean, stop with the, it's so tough, I mean, whatever.
No, I think Jim Curtis was like, how do you do it?
How do you do
it? A mother and a wife, he started with. Mother and a wife.
Some of the most wealthy people in the world.
Running your own business and being a tennis player.
Hanging out with the prince of somewhere's wife. Anyway, I do know one thing with that match, though, that I bet you New Balance as a company was happy to see Coco Gauff.
We're going to Coco Gauff now.
Well, I mean, what's left of the Serena match?
We were just talking about Serena.
She destroyed Sabalenka.
Oh, yeah. And she was going to play...
She grunted to high, you-know-what. She grunted so loud going to the ball while hitting the ball after every point. I mean, I have a...
Yeah, she plays Qian Wang next.
I have this picture frozen in my head of... And I saw more of this last night than I did even hitting tennis balls in that match. I mean, look, we're Serena fans, and we were gonna.
I love Serena. I want her to win.
Serena.
I want her to win.
I mean, geez,
I want her to pass 23.
That's what we do. If they see the show, I would tell the same thing here. What are we doing here, man? Just chill. Let's get this 24th major, and
you know what? I want to see her do "Come On" when she beats a worthy opponent.
Yeah, I mean, we're like shouting to the crowd in an easy
when she
match.
plays Osaka in the quarterfinals, she can then go, "Come on." Okay.
I hope she doesn't come on Wozniacki like that.
Is she gonna? Oh, nah, she's not, man. She has no respect for her.
To the Coco Gauff match, I want to reiterate. New Balance has always been New Balance has been around for a long time, and it wasn't until terribly recently where they were kind of commonplace on the tennis court. I think Milos Raonic is with New Balance, a scattering of other people, but I know that Coco Gauff was on the court last night with Sir Steve.
Good match.
It was a good match. Another excessive come-on match.
Every point.
But New Balance was pretty happy for the theatrics in this one.
Cersei had a chance to win this match, by the way. She let it go, honestly. She was up.
The excessive come-ons were even on people's errors. Yeah. And that I don't think is cool.
That's not cool. I found it so annoying that I told Justin again about Cersei. I would do it back to her because Cersei was quiet. Anytime she won the point, she would go like this. But the other one's like, come on. And it must be from hanging out with Serena a lot that she got it from.
Look, there was good energy in the match, but I felt like at the end of the match, in this very good match, at the end of the match, the decibel level of the excessive come-ons and screaming got out of hand. I think at one point it became personal between Gauff and Cersei.
Yeah, well, she had her hand up.
And served the ball.
And Coco never looked up.
She never
looked up. This wasn't a Hen and Serena moment.
Yeah.
This was, she went like this. And what are you supposed to do? You're telling the player to stop. They're not looking at you. What are you supposed to do? Play the point because they're going at their pace, real quick?
Okay. The dilemma here, what she's making reference to, is there was a point in the latter part of the match. Coco Gauff came up to the line to serve. Now we do play at the server's pace.
We do, yes.
So let me go with this one, and then you rebut. So, because I think we're going to disagree on this one a little bit.
Well, I thought that, usually as a server, when you bounce the ball, you look up just to make sure. You always do. I mean, I played so many matches. You bounce the ball, you look up. And you get ready to serve. But she just went to the line. And this time, she didn't look across. And I guess Cersei was trying to make her point that she wasn't ready, so she just stayed with her hand out.
I thought this was a deeper moment than that in a way, and I think we're kind of on the same song sheet, but not 100%. And let me explain why. In tennis, the theory or the rules basically state, and there's a little gray area to it in a sense. We play at the server's pace, okay? Some people play fast, namely Kyrgios. Some people play slow, Nadal, okay? Anyway, so when the server comes up to the line, we do need to make sure our opponent is ready, okay? We do need to glance up to see that our opponent is ready to duel the point out. I mean, the tennis is a metaphor for a gunfight of old. We don't go out in the streets and settle problems anymore by saying, 10 paces, turn around and blow, right? Well, we can settle our differences on the tennis court, hence the duel of the sport. So in order for it to be a fair gunfight, you want to make sure your opponent's at least ready, okay? Glance up, whatever. Coco Gauff has a tendency to walk up to the baseline, bounce her ball, and immediately start her toss and go. So there is a gray area here because hypothetically you play at the server's pace. It's not really a rule in the book that you have to glance at your opponent, but you are supposed to make sure that they're ready. Coco Gauff did not do that. Cersei had her racket held up on the other side of the court. The problem with this point was, in my opinion, if you go back and look at the footage, Cersei walks up to the line and is holding her racket there for a while. I mean, it's not like 2 seconds and she just missed it. Like Serste's like standing there.
Well, it's not the Serena Hennig moment, at the
Well,
French Open.
yeah, but it almost looked like Serste did it on purpose, simply because she knew that Coco Gauff wasn't going to look. I mean, I've never, and I've played thousands of matches, I've never walked up to the baseline and held my racket up and stared at my opponent. Well, she wasn't like this. I think she was like this, though. She had it up there. And staring over there, waiting for the serve. Here comes the serve. She knew it was coming, moved right by her. She just stood there. It seemed a little bit, as you would say, catty. True. It seemed a little bit of catfight moment.
She was probably tired of the come-ons. But after that, she fired her up more. So
that was an interesting moment. There was a dicey moment. After that, the excessive come-ons came, and I got out of hand, in my opinion. During that match, and we watched it again this morning to make sure we didn't hear it correctly. Chris Evert stated in
fire this lady.
Chris Evert, and no disrespect to Evert, she's I've
met her. No, I don't care.
Well, you've met her. I have not.
No.
Chris Evert, in my opinion, is a classy tennis player. A gazillion majors, and an icon in the game. She thinks she's a little snooty, and I've never met her. So
met her many times.
Neither here nor there. We'll disagree on that one. But I heard Evert say, and we rewound it just to make sure, that Coco Gauff is a better player than Naomi Osaka. Maybe in the future, but not right now.
Did she really say that?
I
heard it, but did she really say that? Come on. Really? Yeah. She's a better player.
I don't know. Now, Coco Gauff...
Let me see, a 2 Grand Slam champion.
Well, Coco Gauff, listen, she's not a better player now. She could be in the future.
She could be in the future. Anybody could be in the future.
Well, look at Coco Gauff's body, though. She's not even 16 yet, and she is built very well.
Yes.
Very strong.
Yes.
She has tenacity and fight with her at her age.
And confidence.
I did see her dancing with Serena Williams. And it looks like they worked out some hip hop for exercise, and I think that's wonderful. Minimal risk of injury, fun, and keeps your body going. Definitely. So bravo on the dance.
I think Osaka will wipe the court with her. Hopefully Coco doesn't cry again, so Osaka needs to pull her on her side, do the interview together. Osaka needs to shut her down. Don't even give her a chance.
All right.
She doesn't need to let the come-on. Well, they'll both do come-ons. Osaka will give it back to her.
Yeah.
But I think they respect each other more than that, so I don't think we'll see that.
All right, so moving forward really quickly, Grigor Dimitrov was up 5-3 in the 5th set versus Tommy Paul. Not young. I think Tommy Paul's probably 22 by now, but the young Tommy Paul, I think he was from...
Wasn't he up 5-4, 30 love serving for the match?
Yes, Dimitrov was. Also, Dimitrov was up 5-3, but that's even, closer to the finish line. Mm-hmm. Tommy Paul, I think, was from Jersey. I think he lives and trains some in Florida, some in North Carolina, if I remember correctly. Tommy Paul was the number 3 ranked junior, by the way. Tommy Paul won the French Open, if I remember correctly, the junior boys French Open. I don't know if you can look that up.
Well, I was looking at the match. Tommy Paul was up 2 sets, and then Dimitrov came back in the next 2 sets.
A valiant fight back. Tommy Paul is no pushover. Tommy Paul, I think, has been on tour since about 2015. That's,
Yes, 2015. He's 22.
Did he beat Fritz to win the French Open in like 2015
Losing
or 16?
to Fritz.
No, that was the U.S. Open. He won the junior French.
He also reached a boys singles final, losing to Fritz.
At the U.S. Open.
But he won the French Open.
He won the French Open.
Mean nothing.
But I get it. But what I'm saying is it's not a huge shock that Paul beat Dimitrov. As we know, Dimitrov hasn't done much of anything in the past couple of years. And by the way, Tommy Paul, call me crazy, but he could be in the top. I think he's 86 in the world or 80 in the world right now.
He's got a fast game.
Tommy Paul, yeah, and he can move. He can work the net when he needs to. He's good on clay. Hence why he won the boys French Open title. Mm-hmm. Tommy Paul is 22. Tommy Paul could be a top 25 player. He could. He has the demeanor for it. He has the fight for it.
We'll see. It's hard for me to jump on any American.
Well, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon.
He's good. I like him.
He's a good player. I'm laying the context of why you don't necessarily need to just completely write Dimitrov off because he lost someone's like, who is Tommy Paul? He's one of the best prospects that the U.S. tennis has now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, even more so than Fritz. And I get he's already 22, but he I think will end up being the number one U.S.
Isn't
men's
Taylor
player.
Fritz the same age as him? They're about
Yeah,
the same age.
around the same age. Yeah. So I hate to see Dimitrov go down like that.
That was tough for him.
He's still a good steward.
But the crowd
game.
was for the American. The crowd was cheering the American on. They wanted
know,
Tommy Paul to win. I watched it this morning again.
Yeah, I did.
Like the last set.
I saw like the first two sets.
I watched the last set. They were all like, Tommy. I could hear it.
Well, good for both guys. Again, Dimitrov. Again, he's not gonna win a major.
No,
he's not. But he's a.
He just needs to keep smiling and playing tennis.
Yeah, and he's a good sport.
Yeah.
For the most part, his conduct is good, which is nice to see since you see so many assholes and grunters these days.
Keep looking good on the clothes and just keep playing your tennis, and that's it.
Can I give you one interesting sad fact though? What generally happens to U.S. players like the likes of Tennis Sandgren or the likes of Tommy Paul that play a tough match and they pull it out in the end and they lose in the next round?
So does he play?
So maybe Tennis Sandgren and Tommy.
He plays Iron Man. My man.
Tommy Paul.
Sad for him.
Tommy Paul has a chance to beat Fucsovic.
But he played 5 sets. Fucsovic beat Sinner.
I think Tommy Paul could beat Fucsovic. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and look. I this is an outlandish thing, but I'm gonna call the Tommy Paul. I'm gonna call the Tommy Paul upset over Fucsovic here.
I'll pick Iron Man, of course.
We'll see what happens.
All right, cool. Well, Tennis Sandgren beat Berrettini.
I told you. I told everybody last year.
This is for our friend David Rains. We found your twin.
Tennis Sandgren.
When we saw him, we're like, that's Dave Rains.
Yeah, so hashtag Dave Rains. Don't let me forget.
I will.
Dave Rains looks like
Tennis Sandgren.
No one's going to understand that. But anyway. So
he will.
He'll understand that. Anyway, back to where you're at. Sorry.
Yeah, 5 sets. It took Tennis Sandgren 5 sets to beat Berrettini.
Oh,
number 8 seed in the tournament.
Most of you agreed with me at the end of last year when I found out that Berrettini was going to the Tour Finals, and then at the beginning of this year, a lot of you agreed, some of you disagreed, and I said that Berrettini would fall off the top quick. I think Gene Swart in South Africa was a staunch believer in that as well, and look what happened. Berrettini, again, a good player. He has an interesting kind of body though. He's got these huge quads and he's got these really thin calves.
Stop! Somebody said don't compare people's bodies. Someone wrote. I can't remember who.
All right, well, there's no disrespect there.
No disrespect there.
I have thin quads and thin calves. I wish I had bigger ones like his. How about that?
So he'll face another American, Sam Querrey, who beat Berankis. Tennis Sandgren.
That's a good match.
Yeah.
I think Querrey will pull through there, though.
I think so, too.
It depends. It depends if Querrey serves on.
Mm-hmm.
But good match.
Yep.
What you got?
Federer cruised. 3 sets straight. Djokovic's match was even worse. He was. We watch him practice his slice, practice his strokes. Gave the crowd a little bit of hope, but he killed them. So that wasn't even a match.
Yeah, there was a practice match. Nothing more than that.
Nothing more than that.
Definitely.
He could have played left-handed and won that match. Well, just saying.
Look, much respect to the Japanese.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Djokovic is that much better than that. It's like him playing us. Come on.
Well, yes and no.
Plus 1,000.
He had a good, solid showing.
Warm-up match.
Did.
Yeah, he got a little sweaty.
Warm-up match, but come on. I mean, how much more difficult was Federer's match?
A little bit more.
A little bit more difficult.
Tsitsipas got a walkover. So he will face... Who does Tsitsipas?
A win's a win, though.
A win's a win.
A win's a win.
Good for him.
It's not Tsitsipas' problem. A couple people...
He faces Raonic.
That's going to be a good match.
Raonic is the next opponent.
Because I do not have Tsitsipas on my fantasy team, and I do have Raonic. Let's go, Raonic. Let's take care of business, and he can do it. Who do you think is going to win that match? Do you say
Tsitsipas? I got to go with Tsitsipas.
What do you think? It's a laborious 5-set match, or do you think it's quick?
I think it'll be quick.
I think Raonic wins this in 4 sets.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to Milos.
All right. Cool.
I am going to give it to Milos.
By the way, Millman takes out Hurkacz. Poor Hurkacz. A lot of tennis. I think with him, it was just too much tennis. 5 sets previous to this match. Millman meets Federer.
Oh, that's happened before.
Yeah, but I think that Millman has played a lot as well, and I think Federer will cruise.
You guys remember what happened at a U.S. Open a couple?
But he did beat him again after that. He did get his revenge with Millman.
Yeah, well, I don't think that Millman will repeat that, but
again,
it happened before. It could happen again. Lightning can strike twice.
I don't think so. Evans outlasted by Nishioka.
I like
We even
Nishioka.
talked about Evans being tired.
I like
He just played
Nishioka.
5 sets Nishioka, so Djokovic plays Nishioka next.
Nishioka's a fighter.
I don't think he'll do anything to Djokovic.
I like the guy.
By the way, I told him to watch this. I know Rajesh saw it, and I mentioned it yesterday. There's a who sent it to me? Hitchhiker sent me the Who game that Djokovic plays. Hilarious, guys! If you get a chance to watch that, stuff was funny.
Oh, the Guess Who game.
Guess Who?
Yeah.
My son was cracking up. Funniest thing I ever see. Fognini takes out Thompson in another 5-setter.
You know, hey, good. I wanted Thompson to win this, obviously, for his country, for himself, for his own, I guess, overall package. Again, we've talked about Fognini. Fognini is the better player. So, I mean...
He faces Peja, so he's got a good chance. I know a lot of you guys have Peja, so I know you'll be rooting for Peja.
See, I think Fognini goes through Peja
I
here.
think he will do.
I think Fognini beats Peja.
I think so too.
So and a good. Look, give credit where credit's due. Fognini, good for him, but I just don't like the way he gets there.
Yeah, he's got a good game. He's got a solid game. He can hit the ball.
Watch that pot belly, Fabio.
That's it for me, by the way.
All right, intriguing matchups. Gonna burn through. Barty Rybakina can be a great match. Risk Gerges third round. Keith Sakari, great match. Alexandrova Kvitova, nice. Osaka Goff, beautiful. Kenan Zhang could be all right. I think Kenan will walk. Wozniacki Jabeur.
Jabeur. She still has to play Jabeur. I kept saying she's going to play Serena.
Yeah, no.
I'm assuming.
But, you know, hey, good for the Tunisian girl here.
Tunisian girl could be trouble for her.
Wang Serena. Serena will get her first athletic test here.
Tonight, Benchik Ostapenko. Really good match. It's one of the first matches coming up on the women's.
Yeah, on the men's side, pushing through to potential or third round intriguing one. Sandgren Query. Good match. I'm going to watch that. Fognini Peja. I don't care to watch the butthole himself. Fusovic Paul, interesting.
But they don't play tonight.
No, this is the third. Millman Federer, Tsitsipas Raonic, yes. Cilic Bautista Agu, you know, I'll watch it, but pass. Lajovic Schwartzman, nah. Djokovic Nishioka, we know the results. So the women's side looks pretty good for the third round.
Yeah, we got some exciting matches. On the men, it's almost like, we'll watch them.
Real quick, fantasy team update at the end. I'm not going to spend time on here, but most of you watch this in full. There's 5 heavy hitters right now that are really far up there in points. It's still wide open. We're only halfway through the second round, but Dusan Dramokanin has an impressive team. He has Sam Querrey, too, and nobody else has him. He gets a couple more wins with him, and he's hot commodity. Stefan Nizovic is impressive here, but he is still a gambling man, but he's up there. JMP 1966 doing well. George Thomas is hanging in there with these big guys, and we have a newcomer that's hanging in there. That's Milena Brasinska Misiewicz. But just watch out for these 5. It's still wide open, but these 5 right here, right now, are owning things. But the sky's the limit. A lot of these don't have a lot of one-point players. So.
And he's the first one to be get one player off his racket.
Yeah, I can't win my own racket. I wouldn't have anyway. And that's kind of why I went with the outlandish Sabalenka pick in the first place, because it didn't matter if I lost Sabalenka.
The first one.
I picked Sabalenka to win the tournament and to make the final, so she lost both, so I would be out of the racket competition. But again, I'm giving it to you.
The first one.
I wouldn't have mattered either way. If I was trying to win it, I would have picked Osaka. Anyway, that's it, everyone. Much love. Let's go. Hopefully you have a good day, and I'll still try to bend my knee and get warmed up into this one. Take care, and we will see you mañana. All right? Adios.